What is up, guys? Late on a Monday night, but as promised, keeping myself accountable. Coming into week 2 of the Millionaire Roadmap Challenge. And what a first week it's been, first of all. So it's currently, as you can see, 10 to 11 on the Monday night, and it's very late. I really can't be asked to do this. I've just had to drive 4 hours down to Portsmouth from Manchester. I'm really, really tired. Had a bit of a long weekend and a really, really long week. So started the week out really optimistic, really excited to, start this challenge. Been really, really great. Really well received positive feedback and comments like from everyone who's messaged me, some comments on the video, stuff like that. Again, views aren't great, but it's not about that. So, everyone who's taken the time to message and say, or, I'm following along. Thanks for the tracking templates. Using this to keep myself accountable as well, and even giving some constructive feedback on the videos. I really, really do appreciate it, and I do try and respond to every single person. So if you do have any questions, any feedback, anything like that, please either just comment below or reach out on my socials. The links will be below under this video as well. A couple of videos that have gone out this week. The one I'm going to link to this video is retargeting for dummies. So if you don't advertise already, or you're new to advertising by yourself, I put together a step-by-step breakdown for a client of ours, or a consulting client of ours, sorry, I should say, about how to kind of set up a really basic retargeting campaign. So that'll be the card that is on this video. Diving into this week, why has it been crap? So for those who have been with me on socials for a little while, who have known us for a little while, will know a couple of years ago we almost lost my mum due to some respiratory illnesses. Fortunately, that's come back. She's currently in the hospital with pneumonia, so we found that out on Tuesday. So Tuesday night, very shortly after that first video was posted, was a mad dash down to Portsmouth. Pretty scary, to be honest with you. Back up to Manchester for the weekend so my wife could get to work, and I've come back down today on my own. So it's been a really, really difficult kind of week, trying to kind of grasp that again and, still function around work and, still prepping for being a dad and trying to find a home. So everything's kind of got on top of me a little bit, but as you're going to see, I'm really kind of happy with how everything has gone so far, to be honest with you, because, with this not being my best week, we've done really quite well. So I'm going to go through the personal stuff first. So food and water. Obviously, the biggest things we're tracking are our macros. So grams of carbs, 360 is our goal. 95 grams of fat a day, 128 grams of protein a day. And pretty much every day we have been pretty solid with it. So we're tracking what the percentage is and how much water we're having. And the goal of that is 4 litres a day. And we've been pretty solid with that. There's a couple of days we've gone over. So like the third, which I think was Saturday, 370 grams of carbs, but that's fine because my macros for the week are pretty on point. Grams of fat, we've gone over. I know I went over on the Friday, and I know I went over today, just with some of the things that I've eaten. And then grams of protein, been pretty rock solid on all the way through as well, which is good. And I've hit all my water targets, which is fantastic. What that translated into was that should be 1.1 kilograms off on the scales this week, which is really, really good, and minus 0.6 percentage of a body fat as well, which is great considering we've actually only done one workout last week. I did the Manchester Marathon on the Sunday, so that was I'm in like a recovery phase for my running, really big recovery phase. So I've got 3 weeks. So last week was just one run. This week is 3. So I did 6K, and then today I did like a little speed session. If anyone wants to know what I use for my running, I use an app called Runner. Really, really good. I'll put a link down below so you can get 2 weeks free and a £10 voucher as well. So I'm actually really happy with how I showed up for myself this week. I've discovered over, especially the last kind of 18 months, really 2 years, that the effort that I do put into my diet and I do put into my exercise directly translate into how well I can handle my emotions and how well I can handle my stress. It's an outlet for me to, burn off some of that energy, channel some of that negative energy, release some, good hormones, get some healthy dopamine, uh, and some serotonin running through my veins, which is great. Kind of defeat the cortisol. Trying to keep cortisol off and stress low is going to be really, really helpful as I go through my weight loss journey. Cortisol, if you don't know, is your stress hormone, and it helps kind of basically when you produce cortisol, it spikes your insulin, and insulin helps store the fat to kind of, in a way. So that's really high stress. So monitoring my stress, which again I do through my Whoop, which is really good. Keeping my caffeine intake low. So when I quit drinking and I quit smoking, I realised I replaced it with caffeine. So trying to now keep below 3 cups of coffee a day, which when you're doing 500 miles a week and not sleeping great is quite difficult. But again, trying to replace it with water and healthier habits. So really, really happy with how I showed up with that this week, which is really, really good. And I know that I can do it, and I know I can show up for myself on the days when I don't want to, and that it does help. I've also hit over 10,000 steps every single day. I think I've hit, my iPhone said, like 8 consecutive step goals, something like that. So that's been really, really good as well. So talk about outreach and sales then. So for May, we've said we want to hit 15,000 in new revenue. So everything I've done, obviously I've already got my existing businesses. They already are cash flowing. So this £1 million is new revenue. Okay. So we're not going to count existing retainers, anything like that that's coming in. It's all stuff that comes from new. Might get a little bit spicy tracking that a little bit later down the line, but we'll come to that bridge when we cross it. Our sale price is 2,000. That's kind of the packages we're going for at the minute, and just kind of testing and adjusting that price. We've messed about a bit with pricing this year, and kind of got a lot of things wrong. I'm going to do a separate video on that in the week on how to price your services and stuff like that, because I know it's a common problem for agency owners, but I know the value that we can bring, and I know kind of that's where we're at. So average sale price of 2,000. So for me to hit that sale goal, I need 7.5 sales this month at that price. I've put an estimated close rate of 30% just to begin with. So that would mean for every 25 calls I make, or messages I send, I should get a close. So I need to get 500 leads per month, which will translate to roughly, what's 500 divided by 31, if anyone's quicker at maths than me. So I need to message 16.12 people per day, so 17 people a day. And if I wanted to double that, it would be 34, for example. And how's it gone? So, where's it? There we go, Facebook tracking. So, friend requests, 50 friend requests per day. So that is a non-negotiable for us now. 50 friend requests per day throughout the groups. Just lets me know what my total from Facebook friends are. I've got a professional account, so it counts it as followers, but it's still friends. How many accepted requests and how many DMs sent. Now, another training I'm going to do during the week is pipelines. And basically, a lot of these came from either follow-ups from conversations that I already had, which is, a really important part of it. A lot of money is in the follow-up, or it was reaching out to existing prospects within my pipeline, people that said they were coming back to me, people that opted in a little while ago but weren't quite ready, just re-engaging those conversations. And we actually had some really, really good conversations started. Obviously, we've had quite a long bank holiday weekend as well. So these 3 DMs sent were just kind of follow-ups for appointments and just confirming times. But, so out of the 10, 20, 30, 40 conversations that we started throughout the week, that was 14, 21, 25 conversations started. So that's a really, really good KPI. So I know when I go into kind of the stages of cold outreach, that's going to drop. But because of the warmer outreach, having those people kind of follow up and come back to us was great. Cold calls made. I've put this as 0. I don't like cold calling, but I've left it in there because it's the tracking template for you. And these were discovery calls we booked. So we booked 5 calls last week. We've had 4 so far. I've got one Wednesday still to come up. And within those, we go for a one call close. So all of those went to one call closes, and every single one of them closed. So last week, 100% success rate. Now, a couple of things to caveat this with. A, we know that the prospects that we already reached out to were kind of pre-sold and price conditioned to the products we're selling them, because we've spoke to them before, we've qualified them before, they've been on calls before. And B, obviously these prospects were already in the pipeline. So I know that when it comes to doing this to colder prospects and people that haven't been with us kind of on our socials for as much time as most of these guys have, it's going to be a bit harder. So I'm not ever claiming I've got 100% close rate, because I know that's not a fact. I know I've got a couple of calls coming up this week, and it's probably going to be closer to maybe like 10 to 15% off of the back of that, which is probably about where we'd like to see it, I think. But from that, some different closes that we've got. So obviously we've got an average sale price of 2,000. So these are including VAT. A couple of the other ones that we've got up on here are either including setup fees, including email flows, or including like one-off bespoke parts of the project. We then had some commission payments come through. I know I'm not counting these, but I count the cash, if that makes sense. So it won't go towards the grand total, but yeah, commission payments, and that's obviously a setup fee as well. So in total, with the first week, 13,797. Not bad. Considering a week we need to get, I think we said it was about 18,000 per week to get £13,797 on our first week. Really, really, really good. I know that's not going to carry over into this week. I know that obviously we were flying for the low-hanging fruit, and we managed to pick some of that off, and that's really, really good, and it's a great start. So it gives me confidence again that I know what I'm doing. It reinforces the process. I know that part of my sales process, the follow-up part of my sales process, is mega. So yeah, really, really good start. Really proud of myself of how I've showed up for myself so far, and how I've still managed to kind of be here, there, and everywhere that I need to be. I'm tired because of it, but yeah, we're on the right path. A couple of videos coming out this week, like I mentioned, in there, so keep an eye out for them. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, hit the bell so that you know when those videos come out. And if you want to see anything you want me to break down, any videos you'd like to see, any trainings you'd like me to drop, leave them in the comments below, and I'll add them to the list to get done over the next couple of weeks. Have a great week, guys. Speak to you soon.